Hello everyone, my name is Naveen Khan, Section BMW, from Department of Computer Science and Engineering. Today my topic is about environmental effects of landfill. So let's start. Starting with environmental effects of landfill, today we will discuss about the effects of landfills in details. So what is a landfill? Landfills are designated areas for the disposal of solid waste that cannot be recycled or composted. Landfills are the most common and oldest methods of waste disposal. Landfills are designed to protect the environment from contaminants in the waste. They are typically constructed with layers of compacted soil and synthetic liners to prevent the leakage of hazardous substances into the surrounding environment. So moving on to the next slide, we will discuss about greenhouse gas emissions from landfills. So the greenhouse gases that emit from landfills are methane and carbon dioxide. So starting from methane, the decomposition of organic waste in landfills releases methane, a potent greenhouse gas with a much higher global warming potential than carbon dioxide. And then we'll move on to carbon dioxide. The decomposition of other waste materials in landfills releases carbon dioxide, another greenhouse gas that contributes to climate change. Groundwater contamination from landfill leachate. So what is leachate? Leachate is a liquid that forms as rainwater percolates through waste in landfills, collecting pollutants and contaminants. What is contamination? Leachate can seep into groundwater, contaminating harmful chemicals, metals, and pathogens, human health, and ecosystems. Air pollution from landfill gases, that is methane and volatile organic compounds, VOCs. Landfill gases, primarily methane, can be released into the atmosphere, contributing to air pollution and climate change. Volatile organic compounds, VOCs. So discussing about VOCs such as benzene and toluene can also cause harm to landfills, posing health risks. So in this slide we'll discuss about the impact on local ecosystems and wildlife. So what is the impact of landfills on local ecosystems and wildlife? Starting from the first point, contaminated water sources can harm aquatic life and affect the health of surrounding ecosystems. Moving on to the second point, landfill odors and gases can attract pests and nuisance animals, disrupting wildlife habitats and causing conflict with humans. And lastly, the presence of landfills can fragment habitats and reduce biodiversity, leading to the decline of populations of vulnerable species. So, hazardous waste in landfills. So, what is hazardous waste in landfills? We'll discuss about that. Starting from first point, improper disposal of hazardous waste in landfills can pose significant risks to human health and the environment. Hazardous materials can leach into groundwater, contaminate soil, and release harmful gases into the atmosphere. Health concerns for nearby communities around the landfills. Air pollution, water contamination, and disease transmission. Starting from air pollution, exposure to air pollution from landfills can lead to respiratory problems, cardiovascular diseases, and other health issues. Moving on to the water contamination effect. Contaminated water can cause gastrointestinal illnesses, reproductive problems, and other health effects. And lastly, we'll discuss about disease transmission. Landfills can attract pests and vectors that transmit the diseases, posing risks to human health. Sustainable landfill management practices. So, what are sustainable landfill management practices? Starting from waste reduction. Reducing waste generation at the source is crucial for mitigating the environmental impact of landfills. Recycling. Promoting recycling programs helps divert materials from landfills and reduce the amount of waste going to disposal. Composting. Composting organic materials such as food waste reduces the amount of waste sent to landfills, produces valuable compost for soil enrichment. So in this slide, we will discuss about transitioning to a circular economy that includes the three main steps of waste management, starting from reduce, then moving on to reuse, and then lastly recycle. So what is reducing? Reducing the amount of waste generated in the first place is essential for minimizing the environmental impact of landfills. Moving on to reuse, reusing products and materials extends their lifespan, reduces resource consumption, and minimizes the need for new production. And lastly, we'll discuss about recycling. So, what is recycling? Recycling is the process of collecting and processing materials that would otherwise be discarded as waste and transforming them into new products. It helps conserve natural resources, reduce pollution, and minimize landfill waste. Common recyclable materials are as paper and cardboard, plastics, glass, metals, and electronics. So, discussing about the benefits of recycling, starting from environmental preservation, reduces deforestation and conserves raw material, energy savings. Producing products from recycled materials often uses less energy. So, tips for recycling. Check local guidelines. Recycling rules vary by region. Clean materials. Rinse containers to remove food residue. Avoid contamination. Don't mix non-recyclable materials with recyclables. So that is all for transitioning to a circular economy and moving on to the next slide. तो मेरी वीडियो में बने रहने के लिए शुक्रिया अदा करता हूं मैं आप सबका। बने रहे मैंने चैनल पे, ऐसे ही इंफॉर्मेटिव वीडियोस और लाता रहूंगा मैं आगे आगे आपके लिए। थैंक यू एवरीवन, हैव ए नाइस डे।